ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا.
How's it going?
What did you say in the beginning of, before you started presenting your speech? I want to know what you said. I wasn't able to understand it.
As a Muslim, guys, as a Muslim, I embraced this religion. I wasn't raised on Islam. And I believe that Al-Islam governs everything that the Muslim is doing throughout the course of the day. So when he comes into a place, there's a way that he sits, there's a place that he sits, and his religion is actually telling him to do those things. Things are not just haphazard. Doesn't mean that I'm a robot, but for the most part, how I exist is governed by my religion. You saw the professor bent down and he paid homage to his ancestors. What he did, I have respect for my ancestors, but in terms of people who are dead and things like that, I don't really believe that they can help me or harm me, anything like that. That's what he did. What I want to mention is the fact that he did that is not something that we see every day. So he did something that I believe it takes courage to show something that you do and you believe in that's different from other people. Because people ridicule you. And the way we are is we don't have that courage to stand out and to be different. It's not easy being a Muslim woman because she has to dress a certain way. Muslim man, he can camouflage his issue. So when we began, and I'm going to deliver a message, I said, all in the name of Allah, God Almighty, the most gracious, the most merciful God, and peace and blessings upon his prophet and his messenger, Muhammad. And I openly bear witness that there is no God worthy of worship except Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. And I proceeded to talk. When I spoke here the last time, I said in the introduction, hey guys, I'm going to say some Arabic words, but I'm not saying that to memorize you guys, and I'll do my best to translate it, but sometimes I forget. I'm saying that because in Islam, the language of Arabic is prominent in the religion. Quran was revealed in that language. Islam started in Mecca and amongst Arabs and so on. So that's what I said. I thought, should I say that in English? I don't like it in English. I don't feel right in English. So I just said it in Arabic to keep it moving. And now that you mentioned that, you helped me out. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. What's your name? Angel. Thanks a lot, Angel. I appreciate that. So that's what I said, Angel. Salam rahmatullahi.
How can we find common ground between our counterparts, such as Jews and Christians in America? If I did take that word in school and stuff like that.
As it relates to finding common ground between ourselves, I think these types of programs are really important on an individual basis. Personally, you know, I was praying when I got here. I didn't pray the third prayer of the day. I forgot. So I had about 8 minutes to pray it. So when I started praying there, and I heard the professor when he came in, and he was very rambunctious and very loud, saying, hey guys, come and sign the book. And I heard his presence when he came in. You may not naturally have that type of personality, but I believe people need to develop that thing where you're not afraid to reach out to people and to talk to people. My wife, my daughter Arwa, they're not reaching out to people because they're introverted and they're not talking to people. So I'm not going to expect that. But if you find yourself in a situation, don't be afraid to find out what's the person's story. Everybody here has a story. They have a book, a movie that other people can find very interesting and very beneficial. So we come to the table and we have a nice, robust discussion about who you are, who I am, where I came from, where you came from. And then when we part company and we're enriched. So we have to stop being afraid of the other, people who are different from us. Get out there and mix with society. Any more questions, guys? تفضل يا أخي. سلام.
For Muslims or non-Muslims, what would you advise is the best way to help stop Islamophobia?
As it relates to the best way to stop Islamophobia, I think we need to educate ourselves. We need to educate ourselves about the reality of who Muslims are. And those of you who are in the audience, I think that you all must know some Muslim man, some Muslim woman, some Muslim neighbor. You must know some Muslim. And I think for the most part, if you were to meet a Muslim, Muslims are not monolithic. We have the good, we have the bad, we have the ugly. We have all of that. But for the most part, you'll find Muslims are decent people. So those people who you know, you allow that message to stick with you as opposed to the people who have been portrayed and projected to you from the media as being the ones who represent our religion. Those people you don't know. And they may exist, they may be murderers and whatever they did, but you know Muslims who are with you in your classroom. I was in the subway the other day, and it was the first meeting that I had to go to the doctor with my wife and my little man. So we went into the doctor's office, we came out, we went to the subway. There was a white guy who was working, and he was like 40 pence short for his Subway sandwich. 40 pence. I'm very protective of my wife, very protective. So when the man was telling the guy behind the counter, he was saying, hey, I don't have the money, I have to go. My wife, out of the generosity of her heart, just said, hey, I got the money. And when she did that, I didn't know how to behave. I didn't know if she was giving dower or if she was compromising my jealousy. I was stuck. I wanted to say to her, what are you doing? Because of my jealousy. What are you doing? But at the same time, what she was doing was a decent act of kindness for a perfect stranger who would look at her dressed the way I told you. You see? Because some of the kids, when my wife walks down the street and they're coming in the opposite direction, 3, 4 of them, they say, witchy poo, witchy poo. They say, a ninja, ninja. She has a bomb, she has a bomb. No, my wife is a wife, a mother, an auntie, she's all of that. So now that guy, that white guy, who didn't know my wife, who may have thought that this lady, I'm forcing her, she can't speak English, because sometimes she goes to the store from Brooklyn, New York, and they start speaking broken English to my wife. She speaks English perfectly well, but they assume she can't speak English. That guy may now see the Muslim lady dressed in a lesser hijab than my wife. She may not have a face cover, may not have gloves on, but he'll remember that Muslim lady gave me 50 pence out of the kindness of her heart, because the guy behind the counter was giving me a problem, and he was a white guy. So it's those small, subtle issues like that. Just being a normal, decent human being. Being a decent human being. I'm African American. I am connected to my ancestors. They were brought over to this place, and many of them were probably Muslims taken into slavery from West Africa, thrown over the boat, all that whole story, forced into slavery. I stand on the shoulders of my African American ancestors. But I don't pray to them. I don't ask them to help me. That's not my religion. That's not what I believe. But if someone were to do something like that, I'm not going to spit on his action. That's his religion. That's his religion. How am I going to do that? So we just have to be decent people, man, and just treat each other as we want to be treated. And these small niceties and gestures of kindness, they help and they go a long way.
Any more questions?
Yes, I do. My question is, being a part of the human universal family, this Islamophobia that you tapped into, some may see this as a issue of let's isolate, and that the universal human family, they don't have to participate in eradicating it. So, from your perspective and take, shouldn't it be a universal participation as well as being a part of the universal human family?
Yeah, we have this concept as it relates to this issue in our religion. Like I told you, Islam helps us to navigate throughout our everyday course of events. But we have this issue of enjoining the good and preventing the evil according to a person's ability. So that concept makes it a civic obligation and duty upon everybody to enjoin good and to stop the evil. Like as Muslims, if you can imagine, this is a Muslim society. Every Muslim here has a responsibility to make al-amr bil ma'ruf and al-nahy anil munkar. Enjoin the good and prohibit the evil. If we were to allow evil to exist collectively, then it's going to be a problem for all of us. We don't have to all be Muslims to buy into that concept. Here, this country, and other places, change is made when good people step forward and they put aside the differences that exist between them and they address these societal problems that are going on. The bad people and evil, it persists, continues when good people are quiet. And we have this problem in the UK with the transportation system. Look at the Islamophobia, guys, on a daily basis. You guys don't have to deal with this. In the UK, they have a thing called the Underground. It's similar to the subway system in New York. I get on the Underground in London. When I sit down, maybe I have a bag, maybe I don't have a bag, but I'm dressed like this, and there's an empty seat. People won't sit next to me. They won't sit next to me, especially if I have a bag, rucksack. They think I have a bomb. They think I have a bomb, and they try to avoid that. I've gotten used to it. I used to be a bit sensitive. But then I say, I enjoy the space, no problem, that's up to you. Myself, I'll go and sit next to anybody. I don't care what the situation is. But you don't want to come and sit next to me, it's your problem. So in the UK, in the public transportation system, there's a lot of antisocial behavior and everybody is quiet. Everybody is just quiet. The least that people will do is take out their phones to record it, as opposed to saying, don't do that. Why are you doing that to her? Why are you saying that? And I understand it to a certain degree because right now with the craziness that's going on, someone to take out a knife, over there they don't have guns like they have over here. Someone take out a knife and stab you. Someone take out some acid and throw it on you if you get involved in other people's business. But again, you remember this. Slavery was allowed to go on because people were quiet about it. Anytime good people are quiet about something that's evil, it's a problem. So here in this university, if you guys want to make changes as students for the upcoming generation or whatever's going on right now, you come together collectively and your voice has to be heard. So it's the same thing with Islamophobia. Don't think because you're not a Muslim, it doesn't affect you. Even if it doesn't affect you in the way that you perceive as being direct, it affects you. Because as the brother said, we're all part of the universal human family. And we're all brothers, like the professor again. Professor's a guy that has some kind of camaraderie between him and myself, and that's because of just the vibe, the spirit that he has. And I don't know most of you, but given the opportunity to meet you on an individual basis, it probably will be the same way for the most part. And Allah knows best.
You said that you became a Muslim after you got beat up, something you didn't do. So my question is, why did you become a Muslim? Why didn't you become a Jewish, atheist, or Christian?
I was a Christian already. You know, I grew up in a Baptist church, African American family, and we were really committed to Christianity. And you'll find that in Africa and Latin America, a lot of times Africans are very, very passionate about worshiping Jesus. You know, a lot of passion and emotions go into that. So when I became of age and I didn't have to go to church, you know, I became 16, 17, and my moms couldn't force me to go to church, I stopped. And I read the autobiography of Al-Hajj Malik Shabazz, Malcolm X. And it was the first book actually that I read from cover to cover, and it changed my life because it gave me a glimpse into someone who I would describe as, there are many African American heroes, but for me, he's the most sincere, top of the list one for me. So when I read his story, I was touched by what he went through, and it opened up my eyes to Islam. So I saw in my community people from the Nation of Islam. They had some things that I liked, but I was smart enough to realize this is not something I want to be a part of. I didn't believe in a lot of that stuff. So I started to read because I didn't believe in Christianity anymore. Not the way it was being portrayed to me by my parents. Jesus is white, Moses is white, Abraham is white, Gabriel is white, Michael is white, all of that. And the black people in the Bible did bad things. I started approaching it like that. And make a long story short, those police beat me up. I became very despondent with a lot of things. And I met a person at that time. They explained Islam to me. I went to the university. After that, I went to the university, the special university. The police beat me up. I went to the special university, and I met the guy there. That's when I became a Muslim. And from there, I didn't turn back. I went to Saudi Arabia, studied in Saudi Arabia, and here I am, man. But I think the impetus was Malcolm X. The autobiography of Malcolm X had a lot to do with making me open my heart and my mind to Islam. Okay, guys, any more questions before we roll out of here? Tfaddal, my sister. Yeah, I can hear you.
Alright, as a Muslim, like, what is it that we can do to, like, better address, like, not address necessarily, but, like, react to a hate comment?
React with what?
To a hate comment.
To a hate comment. Yeah, the sister's asking really a very important question. What can we do as it relates to reacting to hate comments? I think at the top of the list is a really good question is that, you guys, we have to learn our religion. We have to learn our religion. We have to be able to know what we're doing and why we're doing it and how to behave. So if we were reading and learning our religion, we know that two wrongs don't make a right. Allah commanded in the Quran, "Idfa billati hiya ahsan." Someone does bad to you, push it back with what is better. Don't push ignorance back with ignorance. The verse of the Quran that tells us about the believing people, وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. If ignorant people address them, they say peace. I'm not giving you back negativity from your negativity. So I think we have to be the better people, and we have to take those opportunities to educate the ignorant person, try to understand that person. He's ignorant. So when people have those kind of comments, we have to always take it as a learning opportunity. Something happened with 3 Somali girls. I don't know where they were at. One of these states here in America where Somalis are. Could have been Atlanta, could have been Ohio, could have been Minnesota. I don't remember. But I saw the thing on the YouTube. There was an argument that the 3 Somali girls who were cousins they had with a white lady who was getting into a parking space, and it escalated, much drama. And the Muslim girls took their phones out because the lady was acting belligerent and very negative and nasty. So they recorded it. And she was saying, go back to where you come from. And she was really upset, that white lady. So the Somali girls, the Muslim girls, they reported her and got her in trouble. So when they took her to, when she was confronted by the police, she said that lady was cursing Prophet Muhammad. And they caught on video. The lady said, yeah, I cursed Muhammad because they cursed Jesus. So when I heard that, I wasn't there. So I can't judge. I don't know what happened. And in order for us to take positions, you have to have the whole story. You have to be there, or you're just getting narrations. But as a Muslim, if someone were to curse Prophet Muhammad, it's very difficult to fathom, to conceive that a Muslim is going to curse Jesus or Moses. It's hard to conceive that, because they're prophets of our religion, they're people we believe in, we love, we honor, and respect. So a person can't get so mad, and this is the point, can't get so angry, can't get so upset that he fights fire with fire unless it's absolutely necessary. I don't come to people and I tell them Islam is a peaceful religion. It is a peaceful religion. But if those guys who were drinking had touched my wife or hurt someone from my family, I'm going to deal with that. That's something natural. Something natural. But for peaceful purposes, knowing the environment, knowing what's going on, when people make these comments, you know, we just have to handle them. We have to be mature, like the religion tells us to be mature. I don't want to be immature, but when we were young, we used to say that rhyme. I don't know if you guys are still saying that. We used to say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Never get wrapped up into that. But if you put your hand on me, if you touch me, you touch my wife, you touch one of my children, it's going to be a problem. So just always try to be the better person. Handle it with wisdom. And that's what the Nabi of Islam did. He didn't do it once, twice, 3, 4 times. It happened on a consistent basis where people were aggressive and hostile towards him and his community. And when given the opportunity to subdue them, they were in his control, total, absolute control. They tried to kill him. They killed his companions. And he had every right to get full retribution. But he allowed them to go. And when he allowed them to go and he dealt with them like that, that action of his reverberated with everyone else. And they said, what manner of man is that? What kind of person is that? That can suffer all of that stuff, go through all of that, and then be generous and overlooking and pardon people like that. And that goes to show the importance of sincerity. If a person is sincere and he's just worshiping Allah by himself and he wants to please Allah, and it's not about me, it's not about my honor, it's not about you dissing me, you putting me down. Because some of us, where I come from, you have to, don't step on my shoes now. Don't step on my sneakers and my new kicks. It's going to be a problem. We grow up with that. So as a Muslim, we have to get that under control. But don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. I don't believe in that stuff. Somebody slap you on your cheek, give him the other one. He take your shirt, give him your pants. He come into your land and take your land and you give him your water. That doesn't go along with the natural disposition that human beings have to control, protect their own sovereignty. So handle it with wisdom, my sister. Any more questions, guys? My man. Thanks, man. Thanks for your warmth.
I came from the Philippines, and just in 2017, I don't know if you know Marawi, but there was a martial law over there where there were a lot of Muslims. And there were a lot of Muslim extremists as well, but the good Muslims helped civilians to get out of the harm that they were being faced. So I believe in good Muslims, and they do this.
Yeah, we appreciate that, man. And the fact that you're from the Philippines. There's a white brother. His name is Umar Bill. When I accepted Islam, I went to Saudi Arabia to study. Umar Bill used to be a Hell's Angels biker. Proper Hell's Angels. And way back then in '86, he had tattoos all over his body. And he was a proper biker. Proper. And I met him at Hajj time. I was a student. He came for Hajj. And then he got a really important job with a Saudi airline because he was a mechanic. And he's been one of my closest friends. I will go with that guy into the most dangerous places in Brooklyn, New York. White guy, white boy. This guy's a white guy. But he is my brother from another mother. I mean, that's my man. Umar Bill. Anyway, Umar Bill was in Saudi Arabia for about 30 years now, 25 years, and he just moved to the Philippines, and he put a farm in the Philippines, married the Philippine sisters, stuff like that. And I'm aware of this place. They have these people from Abu Saif and those crazy people over there in the Philippines. It's a problem. Philippines is a problem, no doubt. And especially with the Filipino president right now that they have, that guy is really eccentric and things like that. We give people like this the ammunition to lock everybody down and to lock our religion down. So the innocent people are affected by the ignorant movements of those extreme people. Appreciate the welcome, the warmth, and the love, my man. Any more questions, guys? Okay, with that, then we'll bring this to a close. Angel, this is the last thing we're going to say, Mrs. Angel, that we learned in our religion when we finished the majlis, when we finished the assembly. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا